Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Between the Sticks. If you don't know by now, I'm Sahib. This right here is Nabil.
I'm sure they know by now.
Surely, hopefully.
We hope so.
But if you're new to the channel, that's who we are.
That's who we are.
The off-season is well and truly underway. What is it now? A month since footy has finished?
Yes,
almost?
yes.
What have we been up to since then?
What have we been up to?
Let's start with that.
We'll start with where we were on Saturday, actually.
Yes.
Next Gen Unite community football event, which is fantastic.
Yep.
They asked us to come out and shoot some content, in which we were happily
participate and see what the day's about.
It was a great day, though. I loved it.
Day,
loved it. Yeah.
Seeing the community get together.
Amazing.
All the kids and all the people that kind of, brought everything together. It was actually pretty cool to see.
Oh, it was fantastic. And the access we got, and everyone was happy to talk to us. It was unbelievable. We thank everyone.
It was actually a lot of fun. Like,
it was
the reception.
Amazing.
The reception was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a good time. Like you said, the access that we got. Everything from just having a chat to people that were there to practically feeling like we were all part of the games.
100%.
The footy games that were played. There was a women's game, an under-18s game, a seniors game.
And the men's as well, yeah.
Yep. The infamous East versus West game. Absolutely. So pretty busy weekend for us. And a pretty fun one too, to be honest. That's how the off-season has been going.
That's
how busy it's been.
And I think for us, we've been having a lot of conversations off camera about the podcast, what it could look like for next season.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ideating, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
So thinking about ways to improve and seeking some feedback of the boys and from everyone.
Absolutely.
That's some work we've been doing in the background, I guess.
Absolutely. As always, a big shout out and a big thank you to everybody for tuning in, for liking, sharing, subscribing, commenting, telling us what they're enjoying. Just tuning in general. As always, don't forget to do all of that as well. The content's going to continue for us.
Yep.
We're going to continue having fun during the off season, go on our little, I guess you could say, adventures like we did on the weekend.
Yes.
Just have fun with everything as we go and as this off-season continues. Now, obviously, with the off-season, the bill comes a lot of big headline-making news.
It does. And we're going to get to that. We're going to get to a lot of that.
Absolutely.
Where do we start? We want to start with...
Well, the trade period is done.
The trade period?
We're probably a week or so late now.
Yeah.
The trade period was some chaos, wasn't it?
It was. And Clayton Oliver does come up in the trade period. He also comes up outside the trade period, and we'll touch on him in a couple of places.
You know what the funniest thing he did during that trade period was? When he was still a Melbourne Football Club player, he was talking shit about them.
Do you like the facilities?
Love the facilities.
You're also eating the pies sometime up here. What do you like about them?
What do I like about them? Like them better than Melbourne, that's for sure.
I guess how frustrating was to be told to look elsewhere by Demons?
Frustrating? No, it's the business, mate, isn't it?
They asked him, hey, how do you like the pies? And he's like, I like them better than Melbourne right now.
He was mad.
He was fuming, bro. And him fuming wasn't just contained to his comments about Melbourne. He even took it further to have a go at a couple of reporters. Mitch Cleary is not a big fan of you, buddy. Clayton Oliver.
He's not a fan of Tom Morris either.
Apparently, he's not a fan of any journalist at this point.
He's going to clip us and put us on Instagram.
Probably, yeah. But, hey, we're not Clayton Oliver haters. We're just enjoying the entertainment he's bringing.
Bro was mad. He was going to get a farm at Geelong last year.
He was supposed to go to Adelaide, the city of nothing.
Now he's stuck in the western suburbs of Sydney.
Well, he's a GWS player now,
yeah.
which, to be honest with you, I think it was probably the fresh start he needed, if anything. And
yeah, it's good.
With Josh Kelly going down with a long-term injury, probably the player that GWS needed as well to come into their team.
No, absolutely. And he's at his best. He's a very good footballer.
People forget this guy's a multiple-time All-Australian.
Multiple-time Lee Matthews Trophy winner.
MVP, yeah.
Top 3, top 5 in the Brownlow.
A couple of times, he's a premiership player.
More
importantly.
At his peak, he's a bloody good footballer.
Yeah. How do you think he's going to go at GWS next year?
I think he'll be a nice player. I don't think he'll recapture his form.
Yeah.
I hope he uses all of this sort of conversation that's happened around him during the trade period as motivation. But I don't think
even
he's
as
gonna,
ammunition to play well and actually prove everybody wrong.
But I don't know. I don't know if he's going to get back to his 2023.
I mean, listen, as
Clayton Oliver best.
Giants' point of view, as long as he plays well and contributes to the team, I don't think that doesn't really matter to them if he turns into a Brownlow medal winning star or not. I think if he could help the Giants or be part of the team that wins the Giants' first premiership, I think that's a win in the Giants' book and in everybody's book.
Absolutely. Because I mean, Melbourne are still paying half his salary.
Well, they're the ones that wanted to get rid of him. It's almost
the Giants,
like
they've got him at a really good.
I was looking wanting
value.
him to come to Collingwood when the
You
headlines
say
about
it,
him coming to Collingwood were out and about. But yeah, Clayton Oliver's a Giant. Probably the biggest one from the trade period. Neville, I know you're not
tell us.
King Charles is up at Bondi Beach. Charlie Curnow is a Sydney player.
Yes, Charlie gone. Bye-bye.
How do you feel about
this? Mixed emotions. Really, really sad to start with. Really sad. This is a footballer that the club really... for anyone that saw the Instagram post I put up at the time, it was full of emotion, but having had time, this is a player that the fans really, really loved.
I think everybody got behind him.
Yeah, the fans genuinely loved Charlie.
Yeah.
We got behind Charlie. So for him to turn around and say he wants to leave really hurts.
I think not only that, Loki...
go for it.
I'm about to say something
Go
right
for it.
now. So over the trade period, we've obviously been posting as trades happen.
Yeah.
And letting everybody know on our own page that, this player's been traded to this place. The only player, or maybe the biggest name that we didn't post was Charlie.
Yeah.
And I low-key feel like you would have not wanted to see that guy to Sydney Tom.
No, I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it. As a Carlton fan, I was really hurt by it. It felt like, when someone cheats on you, I don't know, it really is just a part of you just... ripped apart. Yeah, this is a footballer, 12 years in this rebuild.
And Carlton took a lot of faith in him.
A lot of faith. 2 knees. We backed him. We gave him a 6-year deal after coming off 2 knees. He played basketball with his knee, and we backed him. Even in his draft year, there was issues, and we still backed him. Yeah. There's a rumor, apparently, again, very, very broad rumor, that when we gave Ed Curnow an extra year as an incentive for Charlie to sign on.
Wow.
So I don't know how true that is.
News,
that is Twitter news. So I don't know how much weight it comes on him. But you know what I mean? Like it really hurts. And fair enough, players want to leave, but
I'll be on. Let's be honest here. Yeah. I'll ask you this now. Did you really think he was gonna stay?
I really thought the club could have held him onto his contract.
Okay, and my second question is, are you happy for what you got in return? Because I know you've been barking about this for a minute now.
I've had a couple of weeks to think about it now, and I think in fairness, it's pretty good. It depends what happens with those 3 first rounders. The problem with those 3 first rounders is they're never a guarantee.
Yeah.
I was listening to something on SEN actually. Yep. The 3 first rounders GWS got for Jeremy Cameron, 2 of them have played less than 15 games, and one's already been moved on or something like that. So future firsts are never guaranteed. So at the moment, I'll take Hayward, and I'll take Hayward in the 3 first and all that. So
fair enough. So Carlton, I'm not gonna lie to you. The shit I've been seeing on social media of Carlton.
It's like your partner cheating on you. That's
not even. You know what it genuinely felt like? Charlie leaving. When LeBron left Cleveland for the first time, and they were burning his jersey in the streets of Akron, and absolutely spewing at the fact that he left.
They're gonna boo him.
I haven't genuinely. I've always known Carlton supporters and the Carlton fan base to be emotional. But the emotion outpour that's happened because of this, which you guys also kind of knew he was leaving. So, but I guess when it actually happens, it's a bit different.
It hurts.
Speaking of Charlie, a couple of his ex-teammates now also left, which we know of already.
Yes.
TDK, Sauce.
Yes.
Corey Durden.
Yeah. So just around this Carlton element, I'll speak about it broadly.
Yep.
And the one thing I want to touch on is the net loss and the net gain, right?
Yep.
So you lose Charlie, Sauce, TDK, Durden, if you want to throw him that, and your gain is Ainsworth, Hayward, Florent,
Liam Reedy,
and Liam Reedy. Reedy.
There's about 4 or 5 guys that came in.
4 or 5 guys.
Yep.
We're no longer the best team of paper. I've been barking for 3 years. Carlton are the best team of paper. We're no longer the best team of paper.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
So we don't know until these guys play a season.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
You're
hold
probably
judgment.
not gonna be able to figure out what state Carlton are in until this time next year.
And Collingwood's trade period. Talk to us. Were you happy with it or quite un-Collingwood-like trade period?
We posted a City video like waiting for Collingwood to do something.
How do you feel about that?
I think they went into the trade period with not a lot of expectations or not really having anything they're targeting in particular.
Yep.
And it kind of turned out that way. We were linked to, I think you said it a couple of weeks ago or last episode maybe, we're somehow linked to every player under the sun.
Footballer you were linked to.
But this year, for real, we were kind of linked to maybe 1 or 2, and we never really actually did anything.
I think you offered a future second for Jai Simpkin. Was that right?
Yeah, no, I think it was a future first.
Future first.
Or maybe future second. I don't know, to be honest.
It wasn't much.
Yeah, it wasn't much, which I'll be honest with you, I don't even think it's worth it because he's North Melbourne's captain. They're not going to just let him walk away for
also
nothing.
2 future firsts.
Brother is on $1 million a year.
Yeah.
We already have salary cap.
And he's not that good either.
Suffocation. So I don't, exactly. When we were linked to Clayton Oliver, when it was rumors that he had met with Collingwood, I was like, yeah, that'll probably be a good idea because realistically, Tom Mitchell wasn't going to get offered a new contract.
You called that pretty early
Ned Long is still a young player, kind of developing, which I've mentioned already. So I said, Clayton Oliver would be great. Now, the only player that I probably would say was interested in actually wanting to come to Collingwood was Bailey Humphries.
Yeah.
That was probably the only player
Gold Coast said he's not for sale.
Well, there was like 5 Victorian teams that wanted him. So when we were actually linked to him and there was the headlines that we'd actually met with him, I said, yeah, I'd love for him to come down. But realistically, we don't have the draft capital. We probably don't even have the money, even if we wanted to bring him down. So that was like the extent of what Collingwood were going to do.
Yeah.
We brought in Jack Buller from Sydney.
I think that's a great pickup. That's a real. That could be one of the trade stories of all
in a couple
time.
of years, Low-key, you know what I hope would happen? What happened with Darcy Cameron? They brought him in for pick 52 from Sydney years ago. He was supposed to be like that second ruckman to Grundy and just kind of be in the shadows. But he turned out to be one of the greatest pickups of recent times for Collingwood. So hopefully,
I like that. I liked it. And Myercheck, are you happy with him heading to the D's?
I'm not so much happy. Yeah, I'm not so much happy, but I also think realistically with our aging list, there were some players that were bound to leave.
Yeah.
Mitchell's gone now. Cox hasn't been offered a new contract.
We'll talk about Cox next. That's my next question.
Yeah, Myercheck's gone now. A bunch of players were delisted, even though what I don't understand is they re-signed a couple of the old guys and they delisted a bunch of kids, which we need, but I don't understand why they did it. But Justin Lepich, I got this under control. Yeah, one of these karmas, bro.
I mean,
so I don't know what's going to happen with that, but you wanted to talk about Mason Cox.
Yeah, it hasn't been offered. I really like the montage Collingwood did of his delisting.
Rightfully so.
What are your thoughts there? Would you give him another year? And
I would. Well, here's the thing. I would give him another year if they're going to play him consistently.
Yeah, don't think
if you're going to play him as the second ruckman, allow the forward lines, the McStays and all these guys just to play forward and not worry about anything else. Sure, but if you're not going to do that and you're going to use them as a ruckman and you're not going to play him and all that kind of, then I don't see the point in having him in the team. But in saying that, now that we've gotten rid of him, there's a couple of young ruckmen in our squad that haven't really tasted AFL football. My thing is, we better play them now and blood them and get them a bit of experience.
They don't have the protection of Mason Cox now.
Exactly.
Either,
so it's like you have to start playing these kids now so they can gain some experience. And God forbid Darcy Cameron goes down, we're actually we're screwed. Like we're finished. So I actually hope genuinely they play these kids and they kind of get them, into the AFL environment a little more. And kind of because Darcy Cameron's 30. Like realistically, this guy maybe got
he's done.
Another 2-3 solid seasons, if that.
He's done.
And then after that, he's on the way out. So that's how I feel about the Mason Cox situation and everything around that. And
there's another player I want to bring up. Another player. He's a captain of the Essendon Football Club. Zach Merrett.
The Doomsday Bombers.
The trade that didn't happen. Let's talk about that. I know we've talked about Collingwood now. Now we've got to talk about another big Melbourne club in Essendon. Take us away. What are your thoughts on that?
I think I think Hawthorn did the best that they probably could have done or that they wanted to do to get him across.
I think 3 first rounders on the table is pretty good.
Yep.
And throw in a player too.
That, and I think they offered
Henry Houseweight.
Yep.
Yeah.
So they did a lot. 3 first rounders is what Charlie.
4 first rounders and a future second.
Well, okay.
Crazy.
In I guess you could say isolation to their positions, Charlie Curnow and Zach Merrett are almost as important in their positions for any team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Zach Merrett goes to any team in that position that he plays in.
He's a star.
Charlie Curnow goes
star.
So if Charlie Curnow could be traded for 3 first round picks, brother, Essendon, don't get me wrong, Andrew Welsh and Essendon board, standing on business 100%, amazing,
Yeah, man's not for sale,
Absolutely, but the fact that them standing on business actually stopped him from leaving. The worst part about this, and there was a story that came out after the fact, was he went up to, I think it was his manager or Essendon, whoever it was, and said, I actually want to be a Hawthorn player.
Yeah.
30 hours before the trade period finished. Now, I'll be honest with you, I think that's where the mess started. Because if you knew you always wanted to leave, because 30 hours before the trade period.
It was like leaks just before that. There was all these leaks from both sides. It was like they were eating each other. The Essendon camp, the Essendon camp, the Merrett camp.
I know, but the thing is, if you're gonna
why wait 30? Why
wait till the end of it when it's actually gonna turn into stress and just a mess and chaos and all that to say, hey, I actually want to leave now. If you knew this or if you had that inkling from the beginning, but I just say, hey, I want to be a Hawthorn player. Because then at that point, Hawthorn, honestly, he'll help them a lot. They will do whatever it takes to, if Essendon said 4 first rounders, listen, Hawthorn are in their premiership window.
The Essendon's, Hawthorn's first offer was on Monday. Tuesday.
Trade period ends on Wednesday.
It was Tuesday. Trade period ends Wednesday.
Well, because realistically, I genuinely maybe Hawthorn didn't think they would be able to get him based on what Essendon were going to ask for or what they wanted. So maybe they just thought, hey, maybe if we do this last second, kind of like a player wants to leave, so just at the end we'll just slide this in and just yank him out of the. Maybe they thought that I don't know, whatever it was. There was that footage of his manager walking into his agent.
That was great to watch as a football fan.
As a neutral, that was hilarious.
Watch,
just watching Jared Ruffin sitting in the corner and this guy just yelling at.
So nonchalant at Jared Ruffin. It was just
absolutely. But yeah, to see how this plays out next season for Essendon now is going to be very interesting. Christian Petracca.
Yes.
Brad Petracca moved on to the Gold Coast.
Yes, he has. Pick 7 and 8.
For 3 first rounders to Melbourne.
And a couple went back as well in 24 and 28.
Yep.
From memory.
Yep. Crazy.
Yeah, didn't see that one coming.
I'll be honest with you. I think there was more of a chance of him moving to Gold Coast than Merrett to Hawthorn, in my opinion.
Yeah, because he's been wanting to go for 2 seasons now.
Him and Oliver are in the same boat.
Melbourne were open to him leaving.
Well, Melbourne weren't open to him leaving last year because they kicked up a fuss and said absolutely not. Because you have 4 years.
And Track,
Well, no, Oliver, I think they were shopping him around last year as well.
No, they were.
To Adelaide and to a couple of places.
They turned him down. They didn't let him go to Geelong.
Geelong and Adelaide. Maybe I don't remember right. But Petracca, they strictly said, you're absolutely not leaving.
Yeah.
Whereas this year, they turned around and when he said, I want to leave, they're just like, all right, go see what you're going to do. I think we said this a couple of weeks ago, but Melbourne genuinely thought they were in a premiership window or they could.
Last year they were.
Or last season, But now I think they've genuinely accepted they're far from it. And they realize they actually need to regenerate their list even a bit. Hence bringing in Brody Myercheck and bringing a couple of those other players that they brought in Melbourne.
They got rid of these, broadly speaking, what the media would
label the
culture issues.
Yep.
They've told Stephen May to move on, couldn't find another club.
Well, yeah.
And then obviously Track and Oliver.
Yep. I mean,
and then they brought in Jack Steele as a professional.
Well, there you go. So he basically plays the role Oliver plays.
What our mate Tom Morris was saying as well. So.
Yeah, exactly. On Melbourne for that matter, they lost 4 to 5 premiership players. Yeah. But they gained a bit more experience, a bit more maybe. I guess again, what the media says about culture issues.
Yeah,
they probably lost a bunch of that problematic culture.
What the media would label that anyway.
In terms of that, and I'd say they lost a fair few guns. Kudos to Gold Coast.
They did well.
Their midfield. Brother, they are gonna run amok next year.
Anderson, Rowell, Petracca, Miller. That is insane.
Jared Witts as their ruckman is a great ruck as well. And
Humphreys even is slotted to that midfield.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like Gold Coast are looking very, very scary right now. They're well equipped all over the ground. Defense, forward.
I'm going to have a big call, but I'm going to say it. Jamara Ugle-Hagan, next season,
he's going to shine.
He's going to be recruit of the year.
Absolutely.
He's going to be the best thing.
Tell him, you're here first.
Jamara Ugle-Hagan will be the recruit of season 2026.
Yeah, absolutely.
They got him for a bag of chips.
Less than a bag of chips.
Less than a bag of chips. They're not going to use that pick.
I know.
Yeah,
that's the craziest. 74.
Yeah, they're not using that.
Useless to the doggies.
But Jamara is going to be a star.
Yeah. There's no doubt. Ben King, Jed Walter, Jamara Ugle-Hagan,
and there's a
Bailey
couple
Humphreys, Long. That forward line is very, very scary for anybody that plays against them.
Unstoppable.
Yeah, those were probably the biggest stories to come out of the trade period. Obviously, Charlie, all the all the free agents, Oscar Allen, Draper to Brisbane. That's another scary team as well, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, Brisbane, they did well. I'm so disappointed they didn't let go of Archie. I'm going to join the public and side with the media on this one.
I agree with you, to be
let
honest.
him go.
You're
going to make him walk through the preseason draft and he can't join his club.
You know, a two-time premiership player. He's been as probably as good a player or as good of a contributor to Brisbane since he's gotten there. Two-time premiership player now too. They lost Starcevic in that
that
trade
one
period. But I also don't think they really need him.
I love Starcevic.
No, I do too. Don't get me wrong. He's a great footballer.
He'll be good for West Coast.
Very good for West Coast. Hopefully his head knocks and whatnot don't kind of persist after this. But losing Starcevic, they have Tom Duday in the background. Jack Payne is yet to come back.
He's going to be Kitty Coleman. Kitty Coleman comes back.
There's a plethora of players that the Brisbane still have to bring back. So I don't really don't get me wrong, a great lockdown defender, but I don't think that loss is going to affect them as much going into next season, especially with the people they brought in.
Yeah.
Big O retired from Brisbane.
He did. It wasn't you or Waz, brother. Waz was saying this grand final day that he might retire.
Well, it was Waz.
Waz, wasn't it?
He's
good. He knows his footy.
Especially once Draper had committed to come into the Lions. Realistically, there was no way him, Oscar and Fort were going to play in the same team. Now, obviously, Brisbane knew what they were doing with appealing to Draper to bring him in because, you know, Oscar, they probably knew in the background Oscar was going to retire, especially now that he won a premiership. Happy days is done and dusted. So, yeah, Brisbane had a crazy trade period. I think...
Just on that, my next question then is going to be, give me your winner and loser in the trade period.
Can I give you a couple of winners?
Yeah, give me a couple of winners.
Brisbane, Gold Coast.
Okay.
I'd probably even say Sydney.
Sydney's a trade winner, yeah. I mean, they got their man Charlie Curnow.
And they lost Will Hayward, which is a gun, don't get me wrong.
And Florent, but again...
Florent
wasn't playing, yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
Will Hayward... Yeah, they lost him, but
footballer.
there's probably 5 other players that can play his role in that Sydney team. So those are probably the winners, I'd say.
Your losers?
And St. Kilda, actually.
The Saints did well. Saints did well.
Rodeo Drive, that's where St. Kilda went, brother. They were shopping and throwing money at everything and everybody.
They do well.
The losers, I think Geelong.
Yeah.
Will definitely be not getting Rowan Marshall over the line. And
they
Charlie
missed out on Charlie too.
And their only pickup over that trade period was Warple from Hawthorn through free agency. Also a bit of an aging list over there. So long Collingwood definitely.
A quiet trade period doesn't mean
crickets.
Quiet trade period doesn't mean you've lost it the trade period though.
It doesn't.
I disagree on that.
No, it doesn't. But with our list profile, I think we did.
Okay.
If our list profile was like late 20s age range, sure. Brother, we have like 10 players over the age of 32 or something. That's a problem.
They'll go to the draft then, I guess. I mean, they should have maybe brought in a couple more picks.
That's what I'm saying, which I think they're trying to do, or something like that. So I think Collingwood. I think even Loki Port.
Yeah,
very quiet. Didn't really get up to much.
What did they get? They got Durden, and they got Will Brodie from Freo for pick 103. I think that's a good pick. I think that's a good pickup.
Really?
Will Brodie 2 seasons ago was a very good footballer.
Okay, there you go.
So he was playing almost every game for Freo. Couple of seasons ago.
Adelaide?
Yeah, I thought Adelaide were losers.
Adelaide were losers, especially with the lack of midfield depth that they have.
I agree with that.
Players that can go through that middle, which they don't have and they struggle with, and they've struggled with. I think that is a bit of a loss for them. Those are probably my winners and losers. And yourself?
Yeah, so I'm just gonna give you one winner, one loser. You've said those 2 teams. My winner would be Sydney.
Yeah. Landing Charlie.
Landing Charlie.
Probably the biggest fish of the trade period.
They've done well.
Yep.
and the loser is Adelaide.
Yeah.
I think Carlton's one, I'm going to give them a solid trade period, but again, not great.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
I mean, I think Carlton did okay.
A lot of people say they did the best they could out of a bad situation.
I think Carlton and almost Melbourne kind of had the same situation where it wasn't an absolute great trade period, but it wasn't absolutely horrible. It wasn't a disaster. Like, it was actually decent. Brought in some decent players. Quickly before we move on.
Yes, tell
Leek
me.
and the mess St.Kilda created with him. Bro, we've been saying St.Kilda.
My boy Leek, bro.
Low key, they brought in a heap of stars. TDK, Sam Flanders, Sauce. Like, they actually went, like I said, Rodeo Drive for St. Kilda. But what they did to Leek was foul, very foul of St. Kilda.
They what did his manager say? They wined and dined him for 2 years.
Almost. And offered him, I think there was a contract on the table, if not.
There was $800K for like 5 years
for 4 years or something, So the fact that they had all that on the table and then they said, let's pull the rug from under his feet, that was crazy. So, yeah, St. Kilda, that wasn't very nice.
Nah, that wasn't cool.
That was
Do you agree? What do you think it was because what they said, we didn't want to give up a future second, or do you think it was salary cap issues?
I think they came to the war chest that they've been throwing at everybody. I think they came to
they renegotiated Wilkie's contract
to almost $1 million a year as well. And those other guys that they brought, Nazaya's on 2. I think we've said this already.
Sylvani's on 800.
1.8. Yeah. So
within Flanders is on big money too.
750 or 8 as well. So within the first their top 7 or 8 players are almost all close to $1 million, and they probably take up like almost $5 million of their salary cap. So low key, I think that might have clicked to them to say, hey, we probably need to start. They didn't let Rowan Marshall go as well.
No, they didn't.
So they didn't actually probably have a lot of money to play with at the end of it when they realized offering Leek $800 for 4 years. That's another obligation that they have to take on. So maybe they didn't think it was a great idea at that point, which I guess we'll never know.
Poor guy.
But yeah, poor Leek. Now, Nabil, speaking of trade period and players leaving, players staying, players asking to leave and all that kind of stuff, I have a question for you, and this is something you've been saying. We need to discuss this in depth.
Yeah, we do.
Because has player loyalty died over the years to clubs and to their organizations?
I think it has, and I think it's gone both ways. So I think loyalty from clubs to their players has died.
Yep.
Loyalty from players to clubs has died, and that's fine. At the end of the day, it's a business.
Yeah, it's always money. Always talks.
Money, mate. Yeah, money talks, bullshit walks.
Yep.
Right. So yeah, it certainly has, but it's both ways, right?
Yeah.
Player power has gone up, but also I think clubs now have started to use their leverage and use their levers.
Yeah.
In the past, clubs would give players that maybe didn't really deserve another year out of loyalty.
Yeah.
Now clubs are more willing to cut those players.
Well, examples on both ends would be the Mason Cox and Tom Mitchell situation at Collingwood, where Mason Cox has been at Collingwood for 10, 11, 12 years. And he's almost been a part of the Collingwood DNA for that period of time.
Yeah, he has.
They haven't offered him a new contract. No. Tom Mitchell came in, helped us win a premiership.
Yeah.
He's a life member, but now, it's, I'm
going to go even further and take you back to Hawthorn when Alistair Clarkson cut.
Well, Luke Hodge retired.
But depending on how they want to message it. So it happens.
I mean, for the benefit of the club, absolutely. Well, 10, 15 years ago, I don't really remember a player walking up to a club and saying, hey, I want to be traded to this club.
Nah.
Specifically, they would be like, bro, it's your problem. It has nothing to do with us, to be completely honest with you. Whereas nowadays, players say that, and no matter what it costs the club they're going to or the club they're leaving, it almost gets done.
Players have far more heart to want to get traded now and make demands of their club to get traded.
Yeah, absolutely.
They'll force their way out.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen that much of it.
Well, the first and the biggest example that I can, off memory, remember was Luke Ball leaving St. Kilda.
Yeah.
So
that's good areas. Yeah.
Little story about that was he played in the 2009 grand final.
Yeah.
And Ross Lyon decided to bench him for the whole fourth quarter while there was nothing wrong with him, right? Now, that was a tight grand final. I think the end margin was maybe 12 points. That was with Max Rook kicking a goal after the siren that day. But Luke Ball was probably a heart and soul player, captain, All-Australian, best at variance at that point in time, up until that point in time, sorry. And they didn't play him for the fourth quarter. Yeah. And he said, all right, fantastic, I'm leaving this club. And St. Kilda said, we're not going to trade you.
Absolutely.
You're still contracted.
Yeah.
And he walked to the national draft.
Preseason draft, yeah.
Or preseason draft, whichever one it was. And he got picked by Collingwood. I still remember until this day, pick 30.
Yeah, wow.
They picked him up and brought him in. And the funniest part about the whole situation was, he was a premiership player with Collingwood the next year against St. Kilda. So that's one of my very first memories
yeah.
of players saying, "Hey, I want to leave this club," and a club going, "Oh, we're not going to trade you."
I'm gonna go back even further. Say, hey, you've given me a great memory, a trigger. There's a player by the name Nick Stevens, played for Carlton.
I sure remember him.
He used to play for Port Adelaide. Started his career at Port Adelaide. Wanted to get traded to Collingwood.
Ooh.
Right, true story.
I think I maybe heard this about this one. Yeah,
it came up recently. I don't know where, but it came up recently.
Yep.
Wanted to get traded to Collingwood. Said he's gonna go via the national draft.
Yep.
Carlton had the earlier pick. They said, "You ain't going to Collingwood, mate."
They picked up their own player again.
No. So he was at Port Adelaide.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He was and then we picked him up. He played a career at Carlton.
That is very interesting. But yeah, I think like
very rare, very rare.
It is very rare, but it's also like I think in the NBA, for example, players wake up and find out they've been traded. No question. Now, people have in the past said the AFL should maybe introduce something like that.
What are your thoughts on that?
Early days, it won't be as easily accepted, or there will be a lot of. I think there will be a lot of turmoil that comes from now. Obviously, all players will just walk to the draft.
Yeah, because it's like
and hopefully get picked up by a team that they want to play for or want to go to.
I was listening to this on the podcast, and one thing that came up is like, do you just tell a player halfway through the season, "Hey, pack your bags," or at the end of the season, pack your bags. You're moving to Perth, or you're moving to Tasmania.
That's
like.
Well,
I don't mind. I don't think it's I'm with you on this, actually. I have no problem doing it.
I don't think it's a problem. I think when it will become a problem is when players become agitated or annoyed, or players kind of then turn the situation into a problem for both club and wherever they're getting traded to. Like, let's say, for example, now, Clayton Oliver, Melbourne got up and just decided to trade him to, I don't know, West Coast.
West Coast, yeah.
Right? And he's just like, okay, I'll just retire. And then I'll just nominate myself for the draft and then get drafted by...
That's
you know what
a loophole, yeah.
Like,
you're good, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is, I'm just, off the top of my head, I'm just thinking about this.
Yeah.
I'm sure player agents and managers...
They're already working
they'll work out a million things to make sure that won't happen, which I think is probably part of the reason why the AFL hasn't tried to introduce this.
I don't know if the game is ready for it.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a big change.
It's a very ruthless situation when it comes to where if they decide to introduce this type of shit, it might actually be a problem.
It's going to be a problem.
And players, clubs, everybody might start.
It's going to be a problem. Absolutely.
You know, it's like if Zach Merrett wanted to get traded now, for example, right? He wanted to get traded to Hawthorn. And
no, you're going to West Coast. They've got pick
and they're willing to offer us
pick 1 and 3. Yeah, no, why are you going to?
And he will be like, absolutely not. And he, like I said, he might just be like, I'll retire and then I'll just nominate for the draft. So call it a day.
You'd think the AFL would be onto those sort of loopholes and stuff.
I mean, if they were to introduce something like this, you would think so.
Speaking of though, clubs give these players long-term contracts. Our mate, someone in the Kane Corns hates long-term contracts.
Not only does he hate them, he actually once said they should cap it to 5 years.
And to be honest, there's rumors, there's murmurings of Greg Swan looking at reviewing these long-term contracts. I think these long-term contracts is one of the few leverages clubs have.
Not only that, I think there should be a minimum term you serve from your contract. Let's throw
I like that. Yeah.
Let's throw a spanner in the works. So Charlie Curnow signed a 6 or 7, whatever year deal it was, Brother, you have to serve a minimum of 5 years.
Yeah.
I don't care what happens if, I don't know,
you cannot get traded.
The Prime Minister himself comes down to say, I'm trading this player. You're not getting traded. You're not going anywhere for at least the first 5 years.
What if the club wants to trade him?
Then the club can.
So it gives the clubs more power.
Well, because
I don't mind that. I think
because who's paying who?
Yeah, the club is paying. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
So the AFL, AFL Players Association are not going to be fans.
I mean, I agree.
But it makes sense. You give the clubs more leverage
because it's like any employer. To be completely honest with you, if you sign a contract and the employer says, "Hey, these are the terms of your employment," and you decide, a year in, hey, I'm not happy with this place. I mean, obviously you can resign, which players can just retire, whatever it is that they do, which makes their contracts null.
Yeah,
right?
It does.
Whereas if they say, I want to be traded, unless the team they're going to takes the full amount of their contract, it forces the other team to continue paying.
Yeah, one team is paying for your contract, whether it's your current team, your new team, or both.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Whereas if a player in this economy, the way it is right now, Clayton Oliver, he's left Melbourne for GWS. Melbourne's still paying his...
in this case.
In this case, right? Collingwood traded Brodie Grundy.
They're still paying.
They're still paying him. Trelaw, they're still paying. There's a plethora of players and examples where that happens. So, low-key, I think...
Salary dump.
Yeah, exactly. So, low-key, I think if players... Like, obviously, players in clubs don't have loyalty as much to one another. But there should be some sort of stipulation that goes into players being traded or clubs trading players, whatever it is.
Don't mind that.
Or if you're going to do long-term contracts, just add stipulations to it. You have to serve a minimum of 5 years. You have to do this. You have to do that.
That's
Because if the club is committing to pay you for 8 years,
they
you should be committed to playing for them for 8 years as well.
That's
honestly,
a good point. That's a good point. Let us know what you guys think.
Yeah.
Leave a comment. Like it. What do you think? Great idea or do you hate it? So let us know. I'm actually, you've sold me on this. So I'm team Sabe on this one actually. So I think it's a good idea. Players should serve minimum term as part of their contract. You've actually convinced me. So
I was about to say we've given a couple of great ideas.
That's
on
a
this,
good one. Yeah,
on this episode, on this podcast. Sorry, over time. But I think that's something that
absolutely
that could probably help everybody. And we won't have Charlie Curnow situations moving forward.
So,
I think we'll wrap it up from there today. The trade period was a lot of mess. The Next Gen Unite vlog will be coming out soon.
Very soon, yeah.
We won't put a date on it because it's going to take us time to get onto that.
No, it's coming out soon.
Definitely soon, so keep an eye out for that. We'll keep releasing content.
Plenty of content coming out in the off-season.
Absolutely. We'll have a lot of fun with it as well. There's a couple of different things that we'll kind of try as well. As always, don't forget to share, like, subscribe, tune in.
All of the above.
Absolutely. We actually have an episode that came out with another footy show as well.
Yes.
So tune into that.
Featuring Sahaib.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nabil was absent for that one.
I was absent on that one. But no, good episode of taking a listen. It's great. Great content. So highly recommend and check it out.
Yeah.
So another footy show.
Yep.
Check it out.
Absolutely. For that. And with that, Nabil, we'll wrap it up for this week.
Done.
Until next time, take care of yourselves, guys. Ciao.